Listen, when you grow up in a narcissistic family system in the inner city, especially in Philly, you got to deal with the enemy inside the house and you got to deal with the enemy outside the house. So inside the house, you got narcissists, toxic people, Jezebels, you feel what I'm saying? Sociopaths, whatever the borderlines, whatever the list goes on, you feel what I'm saying? Toxic individuals that don't want to work on themselves. You got to deal with that in the house, and then you get conditioned to accept manipulation, to accept toxicity. Your threshold for dysfunction is way higher than the next person. So somebody can be manipulating you or doing something that's considered verbal abuse or mental abuse right in your face, and you don't even peep it. Now, it was a lot of things. It was a lot of things that I definitely realized, and I became a fighter. You feel what I'm saying? I became. Where my book at? I wrote a book about it. If y'all don't know, definition of perseverance. Smiley little kid, just saying this now. And then I became a fighter. So I started fighting and I started hanging out in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And I kind of was like outside the house. I feel like that's how I didn't get abused that much compared to like my brothers and sisters, who some of them became, you feel what I'm saying? I didn't get abused that much. And later on, they got frustrated. You know, my sister got mad at me. Excuse me for all the, it's the dust from the window if y'all see it or whatever. But my sister got mad at me. She's like, you always stayed outside the house. You was never here, da da da. Because we had abusive parents that put cameras all over the house and shit like that. And I was battling between not being accepted by my own family and being a scapegoat, and then also battling between being out in the world and people trying me and shit like that. And I have to fight and I have to, deal with it since elementary, almost getting expelled, all the fights that I got into, you feel what I'm saying? And then literally getting into it with my own dad and stuff like that, you feel me? I do appreciate that my dad was in my life, until I went no contact from my narcissistic family system. So that was a beneficial. Although he has problems as well, but he's a little dysfunctional as well. I won't get into that, but just having a father figure there was important. And I noticed that from other friends that didn't have, father figures in their lives, and that makes a difference. So it's a good and bad when it comes to that type of stuff. But yeah, growing up in Philly from a narcissistic family system in an inner city where they don't talk about the psychological element and stuff, or where most people are only connected to God or spirituality in order to look cool. A lot of people are only Muslims because they got the thing on their head, or just 'cause they want to bring it up. Nobody's really connected to no Bible scriptures. Nobody's really Christians in the inner city. And the same thing probably happens in like Compton, like parts of LA, or parts of Jersey, Newark, Camden, Detroit, New York. The list goes on. Louisiana, any inner city or any hood, 9 times out of 10, most people are only religious because it adds to their facade. They're not really following it. They're not really connected to it. Because let's keep it 1,000. Outside of the inner city is like that, but I'm gonna focus on the inner city because that's where I come from. It's a lot of toxicity, narcissism, normalized dysfunction, Jezebels, people with personality disorders such as BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, mood disorders, major depressive disorder. Listen, I'm a truth teller, so I tell it all. You feel what I'm saying? Like, everybody got something going on. A lot of people don't want to work on themselves or truly connect to God. And me growing up in Philly and enduring a lot of that, it was a blessing and a curse. Like, it's crazy. I look at it as like, part of it was like, dang, that's crazy. But some people didn't make it out. Shout out to my cousin Dion, rest in peace, you feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my other cousin Elijah, although he passed in South Carolina, rest in peace to him as well. But a lot of people don't make it out. I grew up around a lot of people that didn't make it out. I grew up around some people I grew up around somebody that's in jail for 30 years and somebody that's in jail for life. And it's a lot of people that didn't make it out of the inner city of Philly. There's a lot of people that didn't make it out of the inner city of New York and Camden and Compton. A lot of them are not self-aware if they're still there. They don't know they're dealing with a narcissist. They don't know they're dealing with dysfunction within themselves and dysfunction within what's going on around them. The lack of self-awareness is very much a problem in inner cities all around the world. So if you grew up in a narcissistic family system and you're from an urban community, I encourage you to really seek self-awareness for yourself and for those who are around you. And if you need to go no contact, You gotta do what you gotta do, you feel what I'm saying? But I feel like going through everything that I went through was a blessing and a curse. You know, it made me who I am today, you know, and I appreciate everything that I've been through, and I'm happy I am where I am now. But it was rough. It was a crazy life. You feel what I'm saying? It was a lot of survival, but I couldn't get through it without God because God was with me the whole time. So if you, like me, you a truth teller, if you are a scapegoat or just a generational curse breaker, or you just seeking to get out of your circumstances and you come from an inner city, or you might not come from an inner city, I say continue to work on yourself. Surround yourself with those who are, you know, solid, and don't allow anything, especially your lack of self-awareness, to make you reach your demise, because it's a spiritual warfare. People will get you out of here, and you can put yourself in position to where you get yourself out of here. You feel what I'm saying? So it's your boy Josh Different. I'm different, you different, we different, I'm out.